Hi guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're wonderful, and I'm here to talk to you about a new topic today, which is the Australian Working Holiday Visa. I wanted to shoot this video outside, but as you can see, the Melbourne weather, it doesn't want to collaborate so much with me, so I'm stuck inside again. Anyway, let's get to it. What is the Working Holiday Visa? The Working Holiday Visa is a specific visa that allows you to travel and work in Australia up to 1 year. You can extend it for a second year Working Holiday Visa, but that requires you to work in a farm for 3 months. So I suppose that if you are watching this video, you actually know what it is and you're maybe thinking to apply for it. I want to divide this video in two parts, so what you need to do before coming to Australia and what you need to do once you are in Australia. Before coming, you need to apply for this visa. You can apply online super easily, and I will put the link down below to the government site to apply for it. It took me 17 minutes after I applied to get it approved, so it went pretty smooth for me and also for Vincent, my boyfriend. So I would say that it's pretty easy to get it, but then of course it depends from country to country. So first of all, make sure that your country is on the list of countries that they are actually allowed to have a working holiday visa. To apply for it, you need to be outside of Australia, and you can enter Australia up to 1 year after you got approved the visa. There is an age limit which is between 18 and 30 years old, even though the Australian government is thinking to extend it to the age of 35 years old. It's not approved yet, so far you can only be 30, which means that you can actually have had your 30th birthday, so you can be in your 30th year of life. The length, as I already told you, it's 1 year, and you can enter and exit the country as many times as you want, which I think is awesome. So little cons is that you can actually work for the same employer for up to 6 months, but said that if you work for a big company, they always have their tricks to make you stay longer than 6 months, if that's what you want. You can also study on a working holiday visa, but not for more than 4 months, and also your passport must be valid. I think it must be valid 8 months after when the visa expires. I'm not sure, double check about that. The cost of the visa is 440 Australian dollars. Let's talk about deciding when to come to Australia. Alright, one idea that I had of Australia is that it's always pretty much hot and nice. No guys, in winter it's pretty much winter, and it's quite dead as well, so I wouldn't recommend you to come in winter. So we arrived exactly at the beginning of winter, and we pretty much struggled to find a job. In the other hand, I would say that coming around end of October, beginning of November, it can be a very good idea, because that's when they start to recruit for Christmas stuff. Next big question, where should you fly to? So this is very tricky. It depends a lot of what do you want to do in Australia. Do you want just to go to one place, work there, save up money and leave, or you want to work and travel Australia? You need to put your priorities straight, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of an overlook to understand what you can get in different parts of Australia. So the easiest place to find jobs, I would say that they are the big cities, so Melbourne and Sydney. In those cities you can find different kind of jobs. You can be retail, hospitality, you can work in cafes and bars. A job that is like super popular is sales job. So if you are happy and you feel that you are pushy enough, you can get tons of sales job on no base salary, but with commissions that you can get it like almost right away, trust me. Cairns can be a good place to go if you are a diving instructor, or also if you used to work in hospitality. I've been told that there is quite many jobs around there, and the weather is pretty nice all the year round, which doesn't harm. If you decide to go to the West Coast, probably you're considering to go to Perth. In that case, I heard, well, we went to Perth first. We tried to apply for jobs, but we didn't try so hard, so I cannot be like a high recommending person on that. But we've been told that it's getting very tricky. So if a while ago there was the job boom, where you could get many jobs, now it's getting harder and harder. I would totally recommend you to land there if you plan to travel the West Coast, then absolutely. If you are aiming on finding a job as soon as possible, maybe avoid. Go to Melbourne or Sydney. In the East Coast you have the majority of the attractions and of the tourist sites. On the West Coast you will have more of alternative and off the beaten track Australia experience. As regard Darwin, we haven't been there, but we heard that it's very good for farm jobs, but it can be pretty expensive, and there aren't many accommodations, so the one that you find, they tend to be quite expensive. The biggest recommendation I can give you is to book your flight quite in advance, because they are pretty expensive. Also inside Australia, the flights are very expensive. You don't need an exit ticket in the moment that you arrive to Australia with a working holiday visa, despite what they say. Let's get to the hardcore stuff. Money. So they recommend you to enter Australia with 5,000 Australian dollars, and said so. We didn't get checked. They didn't want to see our bank statement or anything, and all the people that I met told me the same. But I really recommend you to come with this amount of money, because everything is expensive here. Also considering the fact that when you find an accommodation, you will have to pay a bond that usually is 2 weeks rent plus 1 month rent in advance, so you need money. Also, the majority of the accommodation, they come unfurnished, so you might have to buy some furniture, even if of course there are super cheap options, and sometimes I think you can get them for free if you go to some kind of garage sale kind of vibe, I don't know, but anyway, you might need to spend money on furniture. And also the transport, 1 month transport in Melbourne for unlimited transport is about $130 per month. And always talking about accommodation, I'm not gonna go deep in detail because I want to do a specific video about how to find a place to stay in Melbourne, but I highly recommend you to book a place for the first week that you come, if not the first month, if you want to be super relaxed. We booked for a month. It was super expensive, but we didn't have to stress out on finding an accommodation, and we could focus on finding a job first. So let's say that you have your flight booked, you have your visa, you have your money saved, you book the accommodation for the first week. What do you do in the moment that you arrive in Australia? First of all, you will need to apply for a tax number, because you will need to pay your taxes when you work, even if you can get them back, but we will talk about that in another video. To get this tax number, you can do it easily online. I'm gonna put the link down below, and usually it takes about 2 days to get a letter with your tax number, so you will need to have an address in the moment that you apply for this tax number. Second thing that you might want to do is to open a bank account, and this is so smooth. I was very nervous before opening the bank account, but it went super easy. In half an hour we were all set. They will just ask you an address again, because they will send you your card at your address within 1 week after you applied for the bank account. And what I can suggest is to open an account with the biggest banks, which are Commonwealth or ANZ or some more. But make sure that it's not a small local bank, because if you decide to move to another place in Australia, they might not have a branch of the same bank. The third thing that you might want to do once you move to Australia is to get a SIM card. Again, it's very easy to get it. You can get it in corner shops or 7-Eleven or supermarket. Just make sure that your phone is unlocked, so that you can put SIM card from all over the world. And I am with Amazing, and with $40 per month I have 10 GB of internet, unlimited text and call within Australia, and I think it's over other 15 countries more that I can text and call, so pretty good deal, decently good. once you are here, once you have your tax number, you have your bank account, you have your SIM card, you have your transport card that I already told you before. The transport card is different from city to city. For example, Perth doesn't have this fixed payment, monthly payment. It's just pay as you go. In Melbourne you have it for $130. I'm not sure about Sydney, but anyway, check in whatever city you are. But once you have all these things, then it's time to apply for jobs and get an accommodation, like a more long-term accommodation. But I want to talk about this in a specific separate video. So for now I just leave you with this ground base. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if you have any more additional tips of things to do before and right after arriving to Australia, or if you had any issue that I can help you to solve somehow and give you a more of a inside look to the situation. I will be more than happy to help you, and as always, thank you for watching. See you next time.